Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. Time for another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So as I mentioned, I don't remember if that was yesterday or the day before, Rafa is on vacation with his family in beautiful Hawaii. So it was me here today, and then Jacob was here for about half a day. So did a couple very small things on this because the zinc plating for this motor came in very late in the day, like literally almost as Jacob was about to leave. But anyway, you've got the generator strap on and the pulley bolt is on but not tight. I think that was literally it. So here's the rest of this stuff for the air cleaner and mostly for the air cleaner, I think is what's left here. But anyway, so we can finish getting this thing together, and Jacob and I talked about it. I think we're going to, hopefully, all goes well, do the cam break-in on this on Friday when Jacob will be in again. So he definitely wants to be part of that because he put the motor from, took it from Long Block, which again was built by Brian Roth, and took it to complete motor. So yeah, he's excited. Anyway, so he did that today, but then mostly what he did was he helped me on this guy, the 62 bagged custom jobber here. So we kind of started off trying to understand the air ride system on here, and we were able to kind of trace out the valves and figure out what was what, and the controller and some of the wiring and stuff like that, and we got that all pretty figured out. And then what Jacob did is, because we know that it had a leak on the rear bags, and we weren't really sure where that was coming from, so I gave Jacob the task of tracing the air line for the rear from basically the solenoid valve here all the way to the back of the car, and check any T's or junctions, etc. And of course, the way you do that is, let's see, I think I still have it here somewhere. Yep. Some soapy water and a paintbrush, or soapy water and a squirt bottle. We didn't have a squirt bottle, had a paintbrush. So yeah, pretty much take soapy water and paint it on the fittings, and if it leaks, you'll start seeing bubbles. So I can show you what Jacob found here. This door is hard to open. There it goes. So there's a single line that runs from the front solenoid to the rear bags, which is located, or it's right here, and then you can see a T in it. And so what the T does is the T splits that single line. So a single line from the solenoid valve runs along here, and then it T's here, and then it runs to each of the rear airbags. So he did actually find a leak in the T fitting here, so we haven't tried to figure out exactly what's going on with that, but that's one of the leaks, and that one's relatively easy to get to. The other leak, unfortunately, is, I don't know if you'll even be able to see this. Oh yeah, you can see that. So you see that fitting on top of the bag there, it's leaking there, and it doesn't seem like it's, oh, this is really hard to get the lighting right here. It doesn't seem like it's that black plastic fitting. It seems like it's more, there you can see there's like a big kind of nut-shaped fitting there that the black fitting goes onto. It seems like it's between that fitting and the bag itself is where it's leaking. And there is just like no way to get a wrench on that in any meaningful way to tighten that or loosen it in order to, you know, maybe it needs some thread tape on it or whatever. So we kind of looked at that for a while. Jacob tried and he wasn't able to really get in there. It's pretty blocked by all the bracketry and stuff like that. So he messed around with that for a while, and then he left a little early today. So I called air cooled, so it's got stars all over it, which screams air cooled. And I started talking to to Pete, the owner over there, and when I described this system to him, he said, "Oh, that system has been discontinued for, I don't remember, it was like 20 years or something, and apparently they made this system and sold it for like a month, and he wouldn't say what the issue was, but they stopped manufacturing it after a month and essentially did a recall on it and exchanged everyone's kit that had been shipped out for the newer weld-in system." So this system seems like it has some flaws in it, and again, he wouldn't really tell me what the issue with the system was, which makes me concerned that it was a safety issue, that either it would break or I don't even know what. And he would not offer any support on it at all. He said, "No, we stopped making it. We did a recall. We're done with it. We're not talking about it." So I don't even know what's wrong with this system other than the fact that it has a leak on it. That having been said, the leak is pretty small and it still seemed completely unable to lift the back of the car. So I don't really know what's going on with this back system, leak aside. So I had some good conversations with the owner of this car, and I kind of talked him through all of what I just explained to you guys. And I said, "Look, I don't know what the deal with this system is, but apparently they made it for like a month and they did a recall on it and exchanged it with everyone. So apparently it's got a pretty bad flaw in it." And yeah, I was very sort of transparent with the owner of this car. I said, "That is pretty concerning to me that they recalled it like that," and he doesn't even want to talk about it anymore. Furthermore, one of the owner's friends, who like me is also an engineer and sounds like he spent a bit more time looking at the system here, he said he was pretty concerned about it and about its safety specifically. So given all that, and the fact that the front system doesn't seem to be working that great, I am recommending to the owner that we remove the front and rear airbag systems and just put in static suspensions. So 2 or 3 inch drop plates on the back, adjustable beam on the front, and just, slam the car as low as he likes that's still drivable, and be done with it and get rid of all this air ride nonsense. So he's going to think about it. I think he said he's going to let me tomorrow. I got him a quote for the parts to do that from my buddy Jason at Air Cooled Vintage Works. Talked to him about it, and yeah, he's also not a fan of bag systems. He said he's never heard of a system that actually worked well on a bug. Who knows? I don't know too much about them, and personally not a big fan. I'm more a fan of static drops. But anyway, so yeah, again, waiting to hear from the owner. Tomorrow he said he'd let me know for sure. I have a feeling he's probably going to decide to just have me remove all that stuff, do a static drop. I think the car is going to look bitchin'. It's going to be safe, and just be kind of done with that portion of it. The other thing I don't like about this system is that the rear suspension and the front suspension are 100% based on the bags. So there's no torsion bars in the back. There's no torsion bars in the front. To me, that is dangerous. If you were driving and you had a failure of a bag or a failure of a line or whatever, you would completely lose that side of the suspension. And this thing is set up to go pretty low. It would pretty much drag the pan on the ground or shove the tires up into the fenders. Like, if you were driving it and had a failure of this airbag system, I don't think it would end well. So I'm personally a big fan of getting the F rid of it. And yeah, so we'll see. Anyway, that was a bit long-winded, but I thought it was kind of important to spend a few minutes on. In other news, his motor is coming out. So he, again, I think I mentioned he wants, it's a show car basically. He does want to drive it, but he wants it to be like a custom show car. So he wants all chrome engine tin, and he also is hoping that we can paint the engine case itself to match the car. And so engine's got to come out and we'll clean it up and so on, and then I think we can do that painting and put it back together with chrome. He wants chrome firewall, so it's going to be super blinged out here in the engine compartment. So engine is pretty much ready to come out. I've got to pull the top 2 bolts, already supported with a jack. The bottom 2 bolts are out, so I'll have this thing out in a few minutes in the morning once I come back in. Because it does have dual carburetors on it, those have to come out. The way the manifolds sit in there, there's no way to get the motor out without pulling those. So started by doing that, and yeah, like I said, pretty much ready to come out. I think that I didn't really do anything to speak of on any other car, although the 69 bay window bus is next door getting its headliner installed. The 356 Speedster replica is getting its interior installed. Hopefully that'll be done tomorrow and you guys can see it back here. We'll go ahead and put the seats in it, and the interior portion of that project will be done. The only other thing I did, which again is very minor, is I prepared the wheels for the Ruby Red 67 for install. You guys know exactly what I'm about to say if you watched the channel for a while. I went and removed the powder coating from the lug bolt surfaces here. Very important to do that from a safety perspective so that the lug bolts don't loosen themselves by being tightened against plastic, which is what powder coating is, or paint, kind of the same thing. So yeah, remove paint and powder coating from lug nut or lug bolt surfaces. Anyway, so yeah, those are ready to go on. I did try to restore a bunch of original lug bolts for it, and I got them all stripped and so on. However, the blackening stuff that I use, which is Jax, that works great. This Jax, which I've had for probably over 1.5 years now, has finally just died and doesn't work anymore. So I've got a new bottle of that coming so that I can blacken these, or I may send them out to our zinc plater and have them do them in black zinc. But yeah, that was kind of a failure. Got them all prepared, spent a decent amount of time wire wheeling them. I did them in evapor rust in the little ultrasonic cleaner, had them down to bare metal, and then poured the jacks in, and it just kind of made a mess out of them. So that was a failure, but one way or another, I'll get them blackened and they'll look amazing. The hubcaps for this are at my chrome plater right now for essentially metal work, body work, and then chrome plating. So I think that's it for today, everyone. So appreciate you guys watching as always, and I will see you again tomorrow.